So here's another video with no twinking. For those of you who don't remember, no twinking is the name of my forest invasion build. It has no twink equipment at all and only uses tools you can find in the areas up to and including Fair and Swamp. There's two reasons I like using this guy. First of all, I'm just not into twinking. It's not fun for me. There's no accomplishment in wiping out an unprepared group using far superior weapons and armor. Like, come on, where's the joy in that? The other reason is that it's fun to get invaded and then just lay an uncontested beatdown on a player who is clearly only here because he wants to prey on groups of newbies with his shiny new dark build. Have a slice of humble pie. You got any moves that aren't parries? And dying? So anyway, here we go with this. Alright, what do we got here? Wolf Knight Eric. This is the best kind of lore build in my opinion because, you know, as long as you're not cosplaying someone specific, you can choose pretty much almost any kind of weapon you want. You can maybe make some alterations to the armor. And the lore actually makes sense that he's here too. It makes sense he'd be in the forest with the Abyss Watchers. It makes sense that he would want to prevent me from entering it, even though I'm the invader, I guess. So the lore mostly works out. And as you can see, my usual approach to fighting other curved swords is just to outspace them. I just wait for them to whiff R1s and then attack while during recovery, or maybe go for roll catches if they roll out after the first R1, something like that. I will occasionally go for roll backstabs too, but the problem with that is curved greatswords are just too fast for that to work reliably, and you also have to like predict when their next attack will come out in order for that to work, and that's risky. Y'all see what I did wrong right there. During the lag spike, when the other person has a much stronger weapon than you, or they have more people than you and therefore more firepower, what you want to do is attack a couple times and then start panic rolling. Because at some point that lag spike is going to end, and when it ends, you will take all of the hits that the person landed on you during the lag spike. So what you want to do is just roll and pray your knife frames when that moment comes. And given the amount of time a lag spike lasts, you know, it might not be impossible to land a few hits on your target before you begin panic rolling. You know, maybe get a little damage on them. Okay, so backup has finally arrived. Rotten Queen. Probably going to be a poison build, and poison is not bad at this level. Poison will actually do very noticeable damage over time, and most people don't have the, you know, tools to clean it off. Okay, that was a little too easy there, buddy. There's more to life than R1 spam, but this is probably the first time he's ever had to deal with and lag spike and panic roll. And I didn't keep panic rolling, so I took hits at the end. Gotta keep doing it until the lag spike is over. So it's 2-on-1 now, and I'm reasonably confident I can win. Never mind, now there's 3 of them. When there were 2, I was reasonably confident I could win because I hadn't seen much impressiveness from either one of them, and I had backup on the way. But now it's 3-on-1, and 3-on-1 is just where my mental capability isn't there. There's way too much input for me to process at once, and I'm unable to play effectively against it. So it's time to go get some mob support. Are you guys still okay. Oh look, Strong Baby has put on the Thrall hat. Gotta be in costume for when you're ganking and getting backstabbed for your horrible parry attempt. Holy shit, that actually worked! I rolled preemptively there. I was sure that would fail. I was thinking in my head, yeah, that was a terrible parry. I'm just gonna leave, and then it actually worked. I've got to check how quick my connection was to that guy and see if that's something I can do more often. All right, there's 3 of them. They're feeling confident, so let's lead them into all the mobs on the How the fuck? Okay, I was planning to just R1 spam there because when there's 2 of them in your arc, usually they won't roll out and they'll keep attacking, and I was right, but unfortunately he got the backstab. Van gets overconfident, rolls directly at me, and gets hit, and now he's dead. And now I have almost all of my Estus back. Since I only have 4 Estus, I tend to play a little more carefully, as if I'm running out, and so when I get refills like that, it's a lot more useful, and just parrying. Look, I just turned around, I didn't even attack, and he parried anyway. This guy does not invade in places where, you know, it's not a group. I mean, he's definitely an invader or maybe a blue spirit because look at his Twinkie build. He's got the great club. He's got no armor on. He's probably got some powerful rings based on how little damage I dealt to him despite him having no armor. Yeah, this is one of those twinks I was talking about. The one that's not invading to be challenged. He's here to win regardless of, you know, what he has to do so, including run away from a single invader with your twink build. Anyways, so the host tries to intercept me with an R2, and I make the mistake of trying to punish it with an R1. That shockwave on the end of a curved greatsword R2 is pretty much impossible to punish with a weapon this short unless you do a running R1. What I should have done there is stayed a little farther back and punished it with a running R1. That would have been fast enough and covered enough distance to hit him. Alright, so Strong Baby's alone with me, which is a death sentence for him. if I can kill him quickly enough anyway. He's got a poise weapon, which makes it difficult for me to attack. Unfortunately, he doesn't die in time, and what the fuck? Since when does Great Club have a shockwave, and since when is it a true combo into another R1? What is happening? Oh, what's happening is Rotten Queen has finally gotten involved and is immediately backstabbed for trying to use a spell that takes more than 1 second to cast. Soul Mass Master Race. Only use that spell. Ooh, I don't think you wanted to do that. Game over. Now it's your turn. Wait, did he just try to Black Crystal the blue out so we wouldn't get the Estus? I'm gonna go ahead and pretend I didn't see that because I thought this guy was cool. Alright, so it's 2-on-1. How will this epic battle conclude? Artorias would be proud. So what do we have here? Looking like a pretty standard issue forest gank. All the mobs are dead. There's only 3 of them, so they don't have to use a dried finger. Let's see. We got a Bambi over here under attack, so let's see if I can get some of these guys off. Wait a second. That guy's called Twink. Well, shit, I can't lose now. The whole lore of my character is that you're not allowed to twink. You can't lose this fight. So what are we up against here? One-handed greatsword, which is not a threat at all. One-handed greatsword is much more dangerous. And a bunch of parry tools. Already seeing the first parry. Oh my. 3 parries on 2 guys. This is going to be easy. So I'm going to fight these guys the way I normally fight multiple opponents. Running backwards, turn and burning, running backwards, and still turning, burning. It's really the only completely effective way to fight against this kind of thing. It's also the most effective and the safest. Unfortunately, I'm unable to get R1-R1 into delayed R1-R1 because instead of parrying, the second guy decides to R1 out of stun lock. You know, it's a very two-track mind with that. If I'm not parrying, I'm R1ing. If I'm not R1ing, I'm parrying. Also, there's an Estus Flask that I may or may not use. There's another one. So, obviously, I'm playing a little more carefully than normal because 1 parry means instant death usually in the forests. Everyone's got themselves a Chaos Dagger these days. Ooh, that's why I love the one-handed greatsword, because you miss a single R1 and you are already in danger of being outspaced. Trying to chase him down, but the reason I'm not timing my roll catches correctly is because I'm worried he'll parry out of a roll, and if you time a roll catch correctly on a parry out of a roll, you will be parried, which is unfortunate, so I'm timing my moves a little earlier. Alright, watch what I do wrong here. It was a good move, but there was no guarantee of it working. What would have been a lot more effective in that scenario, oh, lucky me. What would have been a lot more effective in that scenario was if I had two-handed the straight sword and done a turn and burn R1, weapon on R1. You know, the one that breaks the guard. I would have been able to get him with my fire dagger and perhaps finish him off for good. I'm still not doing it, which is kind of a shame. Sucks to see an old invasion you did and know what you could have done better. But since this one goes well anyway, I'm fine. Still 2 of them, and this one has finally learned where his sprint button is, which is a lot more useful in chase downs than most people give it credit for. You can tell when a player's good at chasing you down when he's using sprint intermittently. So this part of the fight's going to be pretty boring. Me running and turning burning, running and turning burning. Pretty much the only option available to you at this point. The only things that are going to interrupt this is when you see an opportunity to take someone out before they get to their Estus, or the battlefield changes in some way that allows you to fight differently. For example, this. Twink has decided to fight me on his own. Probably a bad idea, but it's actually harder than it looks. You see, when a player is doing something like this, parries and then R1s, it makes it very confusing for me to tell how to punish him with a straight sword. Either I can attack and risk being parried, or I can go for a backstab and risk being hit with a regular R1. I have a solution for this now. I have a greatsword. The greatsword, if I run up to them and press R1 regularly, if they parry, they'll miss the parry and I'll hit them. If they attack, I'll hyper armor through their attack and I'll hit them. So, you know, changing every time. I'm throwing knives here because now he has to be scared of the second knife. He has no health left and another knife will kill him, so he's forced to try and retreat until he's out of range. Unfortunately, he sucks, so he's dead. And guess who else sucked? The Bambi. Only a few seconds alone with 2 opponents and he's already defeated. Oh well, it's no problem. Not everyone can spend their entire life playing Xbox stuff, except this PS4. Close enough. Alright, we got Demon misspelled. I don't know where that comes from. And look, since they were dealing damage a lot, they're now confident enough to follow me into the mobs. That is something you can take advantage of. That is something in their mindset you can play against them. And now he's badly hurt and retreating. Unfortunately, I can't chase him down with the Bambi over there, throwing his weapon around at random, so I decide to engage the host and try and prevent him from summoning more followers. This host also parries a lot, And he has a great sword, so it's safe for me to go for parries if I don't fuck him up like I did. And it's also better for me to, you know, it's safer to go for backstabs because you don't have to worry about the straight sword clipping on the way. Are you serious? Why is there always at least one of these in every invasion? Fuck this guy. Kill him. Kill. No. Stop. Skitter. Go after the red. Forget the host. This is less important right now. Kill the red. Yes, he's doing it. See? Take inspiration from that guy. Yes. Fuck you. And don't ever invade again, you piece of shit. And it's too bad I couldn't prevent him from winning the invasion, but hey, it was satisfying to kill him, so I enjoyed that. And I guess I'll see y'all next time.